He's a former NRL player, a dual national, and host of the Let's Trot podcast. He's Josh Mansour, and we're here at Shoe Grab for Bare Your Soles.
Oh man, oh.
Josh, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you being here with us. First question, how did you first get into sneakers?
How I first got into sneakers, I think it's a necessity, to be totally honest with you. I've always kind of admired sneakers and, not only one specific brand, but a whole bunch of brands. The two brands that I really loved and admired is obviously Adidas and Nike. And I don't know, I just kind of, as the years went on, I ended up getting picked up by Adidas, which was pretty cool. And I'm pretty biased when I say that Adidas is the best sneaker brand in the nation.
You seem to rock it a lot. You love rocking the Yeezy 350 V2s especially. You got theirs on. What's it about this model that you love?
Well, I love obviously the statics and the bones, which I bought today, which are my favourite. I just feel like because they just go with everything. Like it's a great colourway. I think these are my favourite, the bones. They're a bit thrashed and a bit weathered at the moment, so I have to throw them in the wash, but mate, they're so comfortable. They can go with anything. You can go out to dinner with them, you can go shopping with them, you can just chill at home with them. Like it's obviously the best shoe, and it's a shame that Kanye is not part of the brand anymore, but man, it's grateful that he brought those shoes out with Adidas.
What have you thought about the other Adidas shoe emergences? Obviously shoes like Gazelles and Sambas have had a huge moment in the last few years.
Yeah, Gazelles have really peaked, especially last year in 2023. And you know, with me, I've got very big feet, but very short calves, so it doesn't really look good, the Gazelles on me. But with the Yeezys, Ultra Boost are another one I really love. I feel like they're just so comfortable, an awesome running shoe, and it's just got a lot of support, which I really love. So probably those two shoes on the line are my favourite.
And then what other models have you been into outside of Adidas? You've got the Alexander McQueen's here. Do you like to get in a bit of your high fashion bag a little bit?
Yeah, I do. So Alexander McQueen's are probably my favourite. They're just very simplistic, very simple, great shoe to go out with. And with designer shoes, they're not known for their comfortability, that's for sure. But Alexander McQueen's are really good for me. I've got a couple of Christian Louboutins at home, a couple of Gucci shoes, which don't get out too often, only when it's a special occasion. But mate, they're probably like my go-to when it comes to going out.
I want to take it way back to the start. What was that first sort of shoe you remember seeing that got you into sneakers? You're like, I want that.
Man, if I'm going to be honest, like my first ever shoe was, I don't know if you remember the Snoop Dogs. Snoop Dogg came out with a shoe, and that was my first ever. Like it wasn't too expensive, it wasn't too cheap, and I didn't come from money. My parents, they struggled to make ends meet, but I was very grateful for them to buy me that shoe. And I think my second pair of shoes that stands out was K-Swisses. I really love those, and I remember going to school and I couldn't get to that next stage and get like the Air Maxes, the TNs. I thought that was a bit out of my price range, but it was a shoe that I definitely admired from afar as well, and especially all my mates rocking them.
Absolutely. You mentioned Air Maxes. We talked about TNs a bit before. What was that obsession like, sort of seeing that?
Man, you know what? It's a shoe that I admire and I respect, but it wasn't the kind of a shoe that I thought I liked and want to kind of be associated with. There's a bit of a stigma when it comes with TNs. I think we both know that. But you know what? It is a shoe that I do respect. It's been around for years. All my cousins, I think I'm the black sheep of the family when it comes to TNs, but I'm the only one that does not wear TNs. I did dibble-dabble with Air Maxes probably in my early teens. Again, it's a shoe that's comfortable when I was wearing my Air Maxes, and it was a shoe that just went with everything.
Absolutely. And then going through your footy career, you get a bit of money, all that. How did your shoe love progress from there?
Pretty dramatically, if I'm going to be honest. My footy boot that I first started wearing was actually X-Blades. I'm not sure if they're still around now. And then I think 2 years later, the club at Penrith ended up getting sponsored by ASICS, and that was pretty awesome. Don't get me wrong, ASICS is not a shoe that we go out with. I'm not going to rock that Jerry Seifert look, but they're one of the most comfortable joggers in the game, ASICS, especially the gel Keanos. So my footy boots went from ASICS, and then I was lucky enough to get picked up by Adidas in 2016, and I've formed a great relationship with them, almost 10 years now, and they've got the likes of Nathan Cleary, we had Cameron Munster, Mitch Moses, and a few more other stars as well. So it's a very popular brand, and I was very lucky and fortunate enough to be a part of it.
And then looking at the next generation, obviously your kids, are they big into shoes? Are you trying to fit them out in the best stuff?
Man, the shoes that my kids wear, I swear, I wish I wore those shoes. I don't think they understand like how lucky they are to wear like Nike Dunks. They got ASICS, they got Adidas Ultra Boost. Man, I never had any of that. I remember my parents used to buy me shoes and they were like 3 sizes bigger and then they used to fill the front with cotton balls. So, and you know what, yeah, that'll last you 3 years, you're still growing.
Is there one sort of pair of boots that you have that are really sentimental to you that represent a big moment in your career?
Yeah, Adidas Speed Flows, they're very important to me. I think as well when Adidas brought out the X's range, man, that was a boot that I really loved playing in. It was comfortable, it fit my foot perfectly, and I feel like with football players especially, we're very superstitious when it comes to footy boots. Well, I know I am. So most of the time, something might not fit properly, might ache a little bit, and then instantly you think you're gonna have a bad game. So, yeah, I know, but with me, I was very lucky enough to fit nicely with the X's. The one boot that I really wish fit me properly was the Adidas Predators. Man, they are such a cool boot. Nathan Cleary rocks them really well. Puts up some nice kicks with them. So, but yeah, man, the Adidas X's and Speed Flows are probably my top 2.
And then is there one shoe you haven't got yet that's your holy grail? It's the one you're working towards or the one you're hunting?
Yes, you know what I love? I love the Christian Dior's, the low cuts, the Jordan and Christian Dior collab. I feel like they're pretty cool. You know what, I'm gonna have to put that at the top of my list, to be totally honest. Yeah, it's just a cool sneaker. Again, another shoe that goes with everything. You know, they're pretty expensive, I'm not gonna be honest, but you know, never know, maybe I get it for my birthday coming up.
Absolutely. Talk about those, you talk about having high fashion shoes. Do you get a bit nervous wearing stuff like that? Like you don't want to step in a puddle? Or...
Man, I'll never forget, I think it was these actually. The day I bought them, I've walked out of the store and then I've got home, got out of the car, and I stepped in a massive puddle, and it was a bloody nightmare. I was so filthy. That was the perfect word for it, filthy. I can't have a speck, but the fact that I stepped in a puddle, it ruined me. It ruined me.
That's devastating.
Yeah, it was proper devastating. But anyway, it happens, and lucky I just got some spray and got rid of it.
Definitely. Let's talk about Let's Trot now. Obviously your show, sponsored by Shoe Grab where we are at the moment. Yep. How did that all come about and how's it been?
Man, funny story that. So the owner of Shoe Grab, Jay, I've been a supporter of Shoe Grab for over 10 years now. And I remember Jay when he was just working out of his garage, man, you know, he used to, do the stock take in his garage and he was driving around in his van, and it's actually quite an inspiring story. And we just kept in touch. I supported him then, and we bumped into each other at the movies while we were actually watching Air, funny enough. Yeah, we're talking about shoes, funny enough. And we had a chat after, and he just was keeping tabs on what I was doing, asking me questions and just catching up. And I was actually going for a pretty tough period, especially after my transition after Souths, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do and how my year was going to look like last year. And he actually hit me up with the idea, do you want to start a podcast? And then we caught up again late in the year, just before the preliminary final, and then Jay thought of the idea, let's give it a crack, let's shoot our first episode in the prelims. And I was like, I remember I was shitting myself because I had no practice, I've never interviewed anyone, and I was telling Jay, man, maybe we should just do a practice run. And he's like, bro, you got this. And like after he said that, I'm a big believer. If you believe in me, I will repay you back tenfold. And it's not only through Jay, but even throughout my whole career. I'm a pretty loyal person, and I'm extremely grateful that I bumped into Jay, because if I didn't, I definitely won't be a host of the Let's Trot show. And man, it's been awesome so far.
You're hosting, you're presenting, obviously leveled up so much. You recently did a presentation at Sneakerland Sydney. You were on a panel. What was that experience like? Yeah,
different. I wasn't expecting that, but again with Sneakerland, it's like the mecca of shoes, right? So you know, you got all the brands there. You got so many stores around. You've got a great culture. Everyone just comes in, has a great time. There was actually a basketball court there. You know, it was a dunk challenge. It was just a mad vibe, and I was sitting with a great panel. The boys from G'd Up were on there, and we're just, you know, talking about entrepreneurship, how they started, and almost sounded very similar to my story. And you know, they came from a pretty hard upbringing, and they believed in something, and they went full throttle for it. And it's similar to what I was doing, and yeah, they definitely, I respect those boys. They're really shaking up the game.
Amazing, man. And then the last question I had for you, obviously your co-host Josh Adokar, who's got the better sneaker collection, you or him?
Me, of course. Nah, you know what? It's pretty even, I reckon. He's obviously sponsored by Puma. Puma has definitely lifted their game up now. I reckon in my eyes they're top 3 in terms of the sporting world. You obviously got your Nikes, Adidas, Puma. Mate, let's be real. I'm going to say myself, man. He's definitely he's got a better laugh than me, but he definitely does have a better shoe collection than me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really appreciate it, mate.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.